And we are live.
All right, great. So, where we last left off, the party uh, just escaped the clutches of a ancient red dragon that they had angered by descending into a abandoned mine shaft uh, without two of their party members that fell to said dragon. Uh, they traveled for a bit in the mine shaft, found some stuff uh, left by whoever used this mine shaft previously. Um, Probably dwarves, because I think you were able to find some dwarvish writing. And uh, on the edge of the mining area near a subterranean lake, you found a big stone door that you went into, and a bunch of crazy dwarf looking like things came out and attacked you. It was a very hard fight. In the midst of it, you were aided by a man who was actually waiting for you, a Goliath by the name of Fathom, who could turn into like a man bear or something. And then you looked around, see if there was anything else in the mine, and in the process, angered a purple worm. You decided to run instead of fighting it, and went out onto the water of the lake, where the party was swept up in the jaws of a gargantuan creature that turned out to be not a creature, but a metal ship. And as the party all got sucked in, they were welcomed to the ship by the captain, a man named Keros. And that's where we're going to pick right back up. So, you take a moment to get your bearings. You seem to be in a uh, solid metal room with a door on one side. You can see this figure, Keros, standing there, blue skin, with a tricorn hat. There's a couple other figures that look similar to him, as well as one that looks very much not like him. A tall humanoid with feline attributes, wearing full plate armor, if I remember right. And Kero says, well, seeing how we will be traveling with you, it's best that we get your sleeping arrangements figured out. Mr. Spark, can you help with that? He says, turning to the feline figure.
Where will they be sleeping?
Eh, you can put them in one of the spare rooms near our quarters.
Right this way.
Once you get situated, why don't you come find me on the CIC? And then he goes walking off as this Mr. Spark figure leads you all down a narrow corridor and through a metal door that has a like a circular metal wheel on it. It takes him a second to spin it before opening, and you come to like a very short area where the walls just seem to be a little bit more tactile, a little bit less rigid than the metal walls of the rooms you were in before. And like 5 feet away from the door you just entered is another door with one of these spinning wheels that this Mr. Spark person opens up and leads you down a another narrow hallway. This one, you can see the walls are um, a bit more, a little bit more detailed. You can see that they're detailed with like different like waves of like water, give it kind of like a bit more of a homier look. Spark points to like one room and tells you that's the captain's room, continues on, points to another room as it tells you that's his room, and then finally comes to a third doorway and tells you that this room is yours.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks.
You're welcome, tall man.
Please, call me Bathroom.
Now that I know your name, I shall.
All right, do you guys go in?
And Shield will be entirely
Yes.
silent for this portion of the stream.
Joke is always quiet.
But also, you don't want to have a two-way busy conversation.
No. I have no reason to.
So, you guys go in and you find inside our very spacious room filled with several beds, almost as if they were expecting uh, all of you, although you do notice that there are 7 beds for the 6 of you, as well as clean sheets. Each bed has a foot locker if you need to store anything. You can see there are several circular windows that just kind of go out into darkness. Although every a, a couple seconds or so, like some bubbles rise up on the other side of the window to show you that there is something out there. And yeah, it just seems like a very nice room.
You know, what's something worse?
Yeah, so have we.
This is weird, strange, fluffy material.
That is a mattress.
It'll grow on you.
Bro, why?
No, not literally. I mean, you will grow to like it.
It is soft.
Shilk, do you sit on one of the beds?
Yes.
You sit on one of the beds and the bed seems to shift and move backward and forward as if there's some kind of liquid inside of the bed, keeping
Oh
the,
god,
the
they're
matting.
all water beds.
This is strange, yet fun.
Of course, they're all water beds.
There's water in the bed. And what
That's
is
not
this?
normal.
And he picks up a pillow.
That's a regular pillow.
Explain.
You put your head on it when you sleep, and it's
Yeah.
supposed to make you more comfortable.
Typically, they're stuffed with feathers for
Ah.
softness.
Okay. Fluffy.
Yeah, fluffy. Supposed to emulate sleeping on a cloud.
I've done that before.
I feel like I should have more questions about that, but at this point, I really don't.
Yeah,
Not the weirdest thing I've heard in the last couple of days, so.
I kill devils for a living, so this is no longer surprising me.
We should meet the captain.
Yeah.
Keros.
Keros, his name was, yeah.
Yeah.
Considering he literally swallowed us into this thing, and is now offering us lodging. Yeah.
Yes.
Seems
Good
to
idea.
be another person that was expecting us, just like you were.
I was not given this much detail. I was just told to expect 7 people who might be able to solve the devil problem and end the war on devils.
It saddens me you say might. Do you lack faith?
In the back of my mind, I have a feeling that um, there will always be a devil presence on this plane, at least to some degree.
Also, we are fighting demons, yes?
Demons, devils.
We've fought a little bit of everything now. We fought some dragons, we fought some fiends, we fought a really big fiend, fought some devils. We're really collecting them all. We've fought some elves. Really, we don't discriminate at this point.
Elves. Why do you fight elves?
Why? What was the elf thing about?
They started it.
Did they though? Did they?
The
Can I
second time
ins-
they started it.
I
Insight
would like
check.
to ins-
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, insight check that.
Yeah. I like how we're both like, we should insight.
I mean, am I technically deceiving them?
Yes.
I wouldn't say deceiving. All right.
Why did you have an advantage?
I don't know. That was not supposed to be selected. Wait, that's a 5.
Yeah.
Isn't that
A natural one, yes.
Yeah.
I started
Very low.
nothing.
Yes, you did.
I am sinless.
Yeah. Shilk, you seem to think that Vanya might be hiding some of the details of what exactly happened.
Vanya,
I'm
I
just
am
suspicious.
curious about you. Details of your story, but we will explore that later.
Later sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
We should meet with this captain now.
I agree.
Is Mr. Spark still there?
Well, he's not in the room, but
Yeah, he's waiting out in the hallway.
letting y'all get comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
For the time being, seeing as I don't need any like big bulky stuff, just gonna stick it in my bag of holding.
Alrighty.
Which is just like the great axe.
Sure. Yeah. So, you guys head back out into this narrow hallway, and Spark, seeing that you guys are done, starts leading you down the hallway farther into the ship. And he leads you through another one of these junctions where he has to spin the circular doors and go through this kind of short area. where the walls seem to be shifting before going to another door. And as he opens up the door and you follow him in, you can see that it leads to a very large chamber that is just filled with people. You can see that there are um, humanoids that look to be the same race as this Keros person. These shorter, blue-skinned people. You can also see um, people that look to be elvish in nature, although they too have blue skin. And you also see a couple gnomes, which kind of seems out of place on them. And they all seem to be standing at like these different like tables that have different like blinking lights. And at the center of this room you see Keros standing at a large table that is covered with this like black glass that seems to be has some kind of illusion rising up out of it, and you can see what looks to be like a very long snake that is just like surrounded by these like jagged stone walls. And it takes you a second, but then you realize, oh, that's the ship, and those walls are like the walls of whatever water tunnel you guys are currently in right now. And Keros sees you come in, and he gestures everybody to file in. The different people manning their stations. Most of them keep to their work, but you see a couple of them kind of like look up at you guys, at the newcomers. And Kara says, "Well, now that you have gotten situated, I suppose we should talk about, well, where we're going."
That would be ideal, yes.
So, where are we going?
I sort of look to the people who I've joined up with, like, do you guys know where the fuck you're going?
How did you know to come get us?
Well, I was contacted that a group of people would need transport via water, so I decided to help with that. And here we are.
May I ask who contacted you?
Well, it was a friend of mine, the leader of the Water Ashari. She told me that you would need help, and as she was paying for my new ship, I felt inclined to follow.
So this is completely altruistic.
Yes, I suppose you could say that.
What is that word?
Means that he's willing to do it out of the kindness of his heart.
Oh, that is very nice.
I mean, I was told if we would go west, somebody would come find us, and I'm assuming that maybe that was you, or we made a very wrong turn somewhere.
Oh, yes, that must have been the same thing. We were supposed to meet you on the coastline, but seeing how this new ship has the capabilities of going through the subterranean tunnels, I thought I'd just save us all some time and get here as fast as possible.
Can I insight check him?
Sure.
Nice.
Hold on. I need to open up Keros' sheet. Oh, that's weird.
Hmm?
Oh, never mind. For a second, I thought like when I transferred this character sheet over, it just didn't like click some of my skills, and then I realized, oh right, expertise is yellow. All right. He seems to be there's like this weird air around Keros. He seems to be a very charismatic person who you're definitely trusting that you could take on face value, and you believe that's exactly what happened.
Granted, I don't think I'm the type to lie directly to your face.
Well, we're trying to get to the Storm Giant's Keep. Do you know where that is?
The Storm Giant's Keep. Do you know what it is called?
Would that ring any bells for me?
I'm pretty sure that answer is nope.
It wouldn't ring any bells for you.
No, not that type. No, not that. Not that well versed in giant.
I don't think I was ever given a name. I don't have a name, I just know it's on the bottom of the ocean.
Interesting. He looks over at Spark and he says, "Mr. Spark, do you know of this Storm Giant Keep?"
Let me think. Ponders it for a few seconds.
Yeah.
No.
Well, if Spark would like, he can make a religion check.
Oh. Maybe. Let's see. Yeah, okay.
All right. I couldn't remember if you were good at that or not. I guess not.
Nope.
Hmm. Well, that is a bit odd. You know where to go, just not where it is. Hmm.
Well, it's not like I spend a lot of time on the bottom of the ocean.
That is true.
I know giants, but not those giants.
Well, I suppose we can start making our way somewhere, and if we run into somebody who possibly knows of this Storm Giant Keep, we can ask them for directions.
Pretty sure I don't have anything in my notes about the name of this keep.
I can double check the stream notes.
I feel pretty confident in that information.
Why don't you make me a... Oh, you're not very intelligent, are you?
It's erotic.
Wow.
No, but I'm proficient in religion.
All right.
This is a erotic.
Well, this wouldn't exactly be religion. So, for you, well, you know what? I let Spark do religion, so you can do religion. Go ahead.
Yes.
That it wasn't where like the avenue I was going down, but it's possible. All right. So, I would say that's high enough for you to know that like storm giants, they're a bit more on the mystic side of giants. Uh they're more spiritual, and you also think like maybe there's a connection between storm giants and the storm lord, which is Cord.
Does anyone know anything more about the Stormlord?
Does that ring any bells?
Yes, I do actually.
Is there anything that might be that the storm giants might think high enough in regards to him that they would name their city after him?
Spark, you would know that there is a very powerful storm to the uh to the southeast that um you once asked Keros what it was, and he told you that he had no idea, but he was told not to go there for any reason. He did not elaborate on who told him, however.
Here is the great storm.
What great storm?
The one we were supposed to stay away from.
Wait, you're not talking about the maelstrom, are you?
I think so. That does seem like a likely place for them to congregate.
Well,
Oh,
if we were to try and go into the maelstrom, that would just tear the ship apart.
what's so bad? I'm assuming the maelstrom is a really bad storm. Then
Yes,
what
it's a
you're saying.
storm on both the sea and the sky above. A raging hurricane above and a whirlpool below. Doesn't matter which way you would go about it, you would get destroyed by the power of this storm.
Sounds like the kind of place storm giants would hang out.
Hmm.
Why
Well,
does that sound familiar? Out of character.
I did say that I would take you where you need to go, and against my better judgment, fuck it, let's go to the maelstrom.
You
Excellent.
know, I like this guy's confidence, even if it's fake.
All right. So he turns over to one of the figures working one of these like blinking light stations, and he says, "Mr. Palace, please set a course for the maelstrom." Says there's kind of like a very slight sense of hesitation before this Mr. Palace says, "Yes, Captain." And a minute or two later, you see the illusion of this tunnel that the ship is currently in suddenly expand, and you can see more and more tunnels going through like the subterranean area of this continent, and it takes you a second to realize that as it continues to expand, you're for the first time you're actually looking at the entire like size of the continent, and it's pretty damn big, especially compared to this ship. And Vanya, you kind of have the moment you realize, holy shit, we walked across that. And you can just see all these like this complex network of tunnels just spiderwebbing and crisscrossing all over each other. You can see there is a couple that look a lot bigger than others that just seems to cut across the entire continent. Right now, the ship that you guys are on it's in one of these smaller tunnels that's on like a tributary going off of the main, like a big tunnel, and then you see a little blinking light of this illusion far to the southeast, and you get the sense that you might be in for quite a long journey.
How far away are we?
Well, it is hard to tell, but I would say several hundred of miles.
What's that in terms of days, hours, weeks?
Well, it's going to be a bit touch and go, going through the tunnels. Once we get to the eastern coast of Gosar, we will be able to pick up a bit of speed, but it is going to be several weeks, if not months.
Could I take a look and, get a better estimate?
Sure.
See what I can figure out.
Yeah. Make I guess a survival check. Yeah, you would say like his estimate is pretty close. You're looking at just under 2 months of travel by sea.
Yeah, it's not far off, 2 months. So, better settle in.
What are we even going to do here for 2 months?
Uh,
Why don't
Keros,
you take some
you-
time to get to know each other?
yeah. That
Everyone
and,
else.
Keros, do you have a training yard here?
A what?
Trading yard.
A gym. Somewhere
Oh.
for your crew to, train.
Hmm.
Because I reckon some of your crew has to be experienced in combat.
Yes, a number of them are. Well,
Probably yourself included.
Mr. Spark usually leads those activities in the chapel area.
I will be sure to see him in that area for, brushing up on my fundamentals and the like.
It should be noted, though, if you come to train chapel, it's best to be calm at like the sea instead of raging.
I'm not one to get angry very often. Unless I happen to be in bear form, in which case, be careful.
We're a pretty calm group. I'm not
Mhm.
sure how many more of us will participate in your
I suspect the
training
monk.
exercises,
I
but
suspect the monk might be interested. You're Rowan, was it? I think you called her.
I honestly don't know what Rowan does to keep herself in fighting shape. I know she meditates a lot, and then she hides in the woods somewhere. which
Yeah,
is
she
going to
goes
be really
running off.
difficult for her here.
Yeah, she goes running off. Yeah. Yep. Several months in a confined space.
We're going to go crazy.
uh, well, as we have our heading, you are welcome to explore the Leviathan to your content. There are some activities that the crew do to pass the time when they are not on shift. You are welcome to join in any of these. If you have any questions, just find me or Mr. Spark.
We come to find out Keros has also invented billiards.
Shuffleboard, obviously.
How would billiards work on a boat?
Careful.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
You just become like the best billiards player ever because you're taking the ship's movements into account.
Yeah.
And the balls never stop moving.
Wow.
Yeah. Whole lot of shuffleboard though.
How long have we been awake?
How long have you been awake?
Yeah.
Make a survival check.
We all know I'm great at these.
Yeah, you starting to think like it might be getting around time to start resting.
Well, I'm just gonna go sleep and think about all of this in the morning. Or at least after sleep. Since we're underground in a weird ship.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
I'm gonna go wander my way back to our room.
All right,
Try
you do
not to
that.
get lost.
I'll say that the people who aren't here, their characters also do that.
Vatham will try to get as well acquainted with the ship as he can, and then probably settle in at a long haul.
Sure.
Shilka's also going to go back to the room, but only to move around on the waterbed a lot.
He's gonna be that roommate.
Alrighty. So, Vatham, are you going the full stretch of the ship then? Just gonna check out the whole thing?
Yeah.
All right.
You can essentially just give him the cliff notes
Sure.
of what he's.
So, you leave this area that Keros had referred to as the CIC, and you go into the next section of the ship to find a narrow hallway that some of the doors are actually already open, and you kind of look in to see that inside these rooms just looks to be storage. You see some meats, some barrels with fruit in them. You get the sense that all these small rooms to either side are various levels of pantry. And as you get to the door at the end and open it, you find that it actually leads right into a kitchen that is currently being used. In the kitchen, you see another one of these squat, blue-skinned figures, and he says, "What are you doing in my kitchen?"
Took a wrong turn. Heading out.
I'm just messing with you, fresh one. Everyone has to move through my kitchen to get around in this ship.
Oh, okay. It makes more sense.
You'll find the way out just through those doors over there.
Alright.
And you
Go through.
leave the
Go
kitchen.
through, go through, ignoring the equally intimidating, despite for his size, chef.
Yep. And you go through this area and you find what looks to be a dining area, rows and rows of long tables. You can see a couple people sitting at, uh, starting to file in for their meal. See a handful of people playing cards across the table. A couple people playing some kind of like board game.
You find
Looks to
another group
be
of
the
people
dining.
playing D&D.
Yeah, they just like one guy has like a folded up like piece of cardboard, and everybody else is just writing on piece of paper and throwing these weird looking stones. Yeah,
See how
good
far
old
down
time.
the metal. Let's see how far down the metal rabbit hole we can go.
Yeah. Do you continue on through
Yeah.
this area? All right. You continue on to the next room, and you can see as you go into this area, there's a couple places. There's a couple like queues that line parts of this, but you notice that on one half of this room is just like a big like circle painted into the floor uh, that it kind of looks like a wrestling circle, weirdly enough. And you look to either side, and there's banners to the Stormlord just like everywhere.
Alright. Sort of looks at him each. I approve their religion. As a fellow follower. And he's like, okay, I can get behind this chapel.
All right.
That's everything. He's gonna.
It's not everything. There is another door on the other side of the chapel.
Okay, let's keep going. Let's get every inch of this
All right. You
ship.
continue on. You open up go through the next junction, and on the other side you see another narrow hallway with several doorways, although you notice that none of the doorways actually have doors. um and you look in just to see like wooden like tables in like the center of each of these rooms. See several different like metallic implements, some like plants hanging from the ceiling. And as you go from room to room, you eventually come to one room near the back that has a desk where there is a elvish woman with blue skin writing into a book. And she doesn't really like look up at you, and she just says, "Whatever the problem is, go to exam room 1. I'll be with you in a moment."
No, just getting familiar with the ship.
She looks up, is
Uh,
like, "Oh, you're new. I sorry. Most of the time, um, it's it's just people who try to fill space, try to get out of work. I'm sorry. My name is Alanis. I'm the healer here. This is my ward."
Fathom, pleasure to meet you. Uh, just getting familiar with the ship. Anything I can do? Let me know. Just sort of here, because 2 months heading to the maelstrom apparently. Great.
Well, you'll definitely get to know people. Not really a lot to do other than speak with others. Um, if you're exploring the ship, you're more than halfway done. You're in the
So
back half now.
this is only half.
Well, technically, exactly half would have been going between the dining area
Oh,
and the
the
chapel.
yeah.
That was the halfway
Mhm.
mark, right between those
Okay.
two sections. But you are on the back end, if in case you cared about that.
It's fine. Just curious, Mike, how Goliath friendly is this ship?
Well, the ceilings are actually rather big, so that's not a problem. You do notice that the doorways are a bit snug. You have had to squeeze through them a couple times. Um,
I've had to like
but
turn and then duck.
yeah, yeah, it's definitely not easy. I'll say that.
Height wise, good. Width wise, yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely
everything
made for.
seems to be pretty compact.
Definitely, it was built for 4 foot people,
Oh, yeah,
or at least people with smaller frames.
yeah, exactly. It wasn't meant for people who uh
Are
stretch the size category to its breaking point.
uh, the shade. Yeah, I get it. All right.
What was your name?
Vatham.
It's nice to meet you, Vatham.
Hopefully, I don't have to come here for anything.
Well, if you do need anything, I'm here.
Also, do heads up if you see a bear walking on the ship, that's me, so you know that ahead of time. I don't need anybody stabbing me while I'm walking the holes like that.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, heading just bid her farewell and check out the rest.
All right. You go into the next section and find that you come to another narrow hallway with probably the most doors you've seen so far. And as you are going along, you see that on each of these doors are several things written in a language. What languages do you speak?
I speak Draconic, Giant, and Common.
All right, yeah, they are a language that you do not understand.
Just gonna- Okay, I'm not even gonna try. I could, but I'm not gonna go into it now.
All right, yeah, you just go down this hallway and you find that the entire this entire section of the ship is just this hallway from all you can tell.
Okay, that's it.
as as you come to another junction door.
No, that's not it. Apparently, keep going.
All right, and you come to another section. This one, there's more people in here, more of these squat figures, and a couple more of the gnomes that you saw earlier. Uh, and they seem to be just kind of like walking around, inspecting these weird, uh, like they kind of look like metal sarcophagi that are just like lining either side of the entire length of this place. A couple of them kind of look up at you, give you some strange looks, but nobody stops you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just gonna take note of what's here. Keep moving. Just
All
let me
right.
know until I've hit the end, please.
Yep. You come to another junction door.
Fuck, this thing's huge.
Yes. You could say
That's what she
Keros
said.
got an upgrade from last campaign.
And we're all proud of him. I'm still waiting to hear if there's any sort of artwork or statues anywhere again. But
You're just waiting.
I'll wait.
You're just waiting for the depictions.
I'm here for this ride.
You're just waiting to see the massive, like, Sistine Chapel.
God, I hope not.
No,
It's on a different floor.
just way in the back of the ship is just going to be just like a shrine. Like, no!
No.
Yeah, I'll keep going.
All right, you
Because
go
I haven't hit the
to
end of this thing.
yeah, you go to the next section, and you can see you come to a little kind of like entrance area that has a couple doorways leading to small rooms on either side. And ahead of you, you actually see a metal door that is not solid metal like the junction doors you've seen in the past. This one actually is like barred doors, kind of like a jail cell door. And there and when you look over to like either side, you can see one of these small rooms is actually occupied. A figure sitting in a chair with their feet up on a desk. They seem to be napping at the moment.
Yeah. Just like, okay, not gonna disturb them. Gonna see if there's any other exits. Any
Yeah,
more junction doors.
make a perception check.
Alright. Nothing that will immediately flood the ship. Yikes.
Yeah. You kind of look around and you kind of look through the bar door in front of you, and you're pretty sure you can see all the way at the other end of this chamber, uh, on the other side of another bar door is one of those junction doors.
Just like, nah. Okay. I think that's enough.
Okay.
Alright. Gotham will be like, okay, this place is fucking huge. Not gonna be able to cover it all.
But you were
Have
so
a couple
close.
months.
Was
Wait,
that literally
we're gonna
like,
be
is
on
that
a
literally
boat
the
for
last door?
months?
Oh, Tori didn't hear.
Yeah, you missed that part.
Very quick recap.
I might just die. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll say one of the reasons Vanya and Shilk went back to the room was because they had to carry a fainted Ramona.
Mm-hmm. Was that is that literally the last door?
You don't know. You just see another junction door on the far end of this chamber. On the other
Okay.
side of two sets of barred doors.
Yeah, I'm nah, giving up there. I'm giving up there.
Okay.
Gotham will then go back to the party.
All right. You make the long trek back through the ship, all the way back to where the party was, and you go into the room where you see a couple of them fanning a unconscious Ramona.
Shoke is still on the waterbed.
Yep.
It stopped.
I feel like silent judging it.
I'm not silently judging you. I respect whatever it is you find amusement in that. There's a childlike wonder about you that I admire.
What did you find on your trip?
Well, the place is rather large. There's a rather interesting kitchen. The chapel seems to be to the Storm Lord. By the way, the chef in the kitchen, very intense individual.
Okay.
A very uninterested healer who was down in her like little what's the word? Words are escaping me. Down in her little hovel area.
She referred to it as her ward.
Ward, she called it. Yeah. Also, these doors were not made to accommodate someone of my size. I've learned that very quickly.
Is it because you are very tall?
I'm having no problem with the height. I'm wider than most people.
That is a very mean thing to say about you.
Again, these shoulders were not made with
For walking through doors.
children. God damn it, Josh. God damn it, Josh.
I was gonna say Joe didn't say anything.
Yeah, what the hell?
Fuck. This is really
Yeah.
quick. I did not sculpt these muscles with lifting small objects.
How does one sculpt muscle?
If you're interested, I can teach you about that on the way there.
We have time.
Hmm? What?
Does seem we have time.
Well, unless there's anything else, I think I'll probably go off to sleep. Also, I have a thing I
Same.
think you would be interested in
Oh.
seeing choke when we get into a combat. Let's just put it this way. You know how I think our monk friend can catch things and throw them back?
Yes, that's his round.
I have a thing similar to that. Except it's a pair of gloves.
Okay.
So if we ever get into a situation where projectiles are fired at us, that could come in handy.
Okay.
So I'll head off to bed. Before doing so, take a fuzzy object out of the bag of tricks and just plop it next to Shield.
All right, roll it.
2.
Hey, you're the one with the item, not me.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
There's now a giant rat next to you, Shield. Feel free to take that with what you will.
I stab it.
It's completely friendly to you.
It was completely friendly.
It just sort of looks at you with like
Make an
excitement
attack
into its
roll.
face. I'm gonna feel bad for this rat. Just it got all
You
excited.
should. You brought it into this world just to die.
Alright, I now have to look up rat AC.
Hold on, I got
It's
it.
lower than that.
Yeah. You said it was a giant rat, right?
Yeah, that is a rather large rat.
All right. Yeah, that hits, and that is.
More
Did
than
you
enough
use
damage.
booming blade on this fucking rat?
Yes.
God damn it, Josh. Yeah, it's fucking turned to dust. God damn it.
I was just like, damn. I just sort of look at it like, the fuck, man?
Well, I look up and I see psychic damage. I'm like, Jesus, that is
Yeah.
so unnecessary.
Talk about overkill.
Yeah, goddamn.
The fact is, he almost missed.
Just strange. I have never seen a rat so big.
Yeah. I got a few tricks like that in this bag. Essentially, I can pull out a fuzzy object and it will turn into a
Well, don't do
Yeah,
that one again.
animal.
I do not like rats.
Alright. I think there's a panther in here somewhere.
Okay, panthers are fine.
I think there's also a badger. Although I don't know how that thing will react. That one will react.
Ah, I have heard. Is it one of those? I have heard legend of spinning badgers.
I'm sorry, what?
I'm just messing.
Okay. Pretty sure it wouldn't carry it either way. Alright. Taking a rest.
All right. So, as you guys bed down for your rest, are you taking watches or do you trust this crew to protect you?
Are we that paranoid of the crew?
Hold on, I'm trying to decide how paranoid I am right now.
I mean, you found Keros very charming.
It's true, you're right, I did.
Yeah, I don't mind him.
Jilka's not going to watch.
In case you were wondering,
His waterbed.
I did roll a 32 persuasion.
God dang it. You actually roll for persuasion.
Fuck, I forgot that he was so persuasive.
Ironic, given his charisma.
Yeah, well, you're good at what you're good at.
Mm-hmm.
Nope,
And
I think everything's great. I'm gonna go to sleep.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. So, you all gain the benefits of a long rest.
Wake up in jail.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope to
Again.
God, that bed was built for a 7-foot tall person.
It's
It wasn't.
it's bigger. There is a bed bigger than the other 6. However, it's still not big enough for you.
Yeah.
So you do find yourself kind of
Having like huddle up under the covers.
yeah, either like either
Trying
like
to
you're hanging off the edge, or you're like you're going full fetal position, whichever way makes it more comfortable for you.
You probably go slightly fetal position, just to get underneath the entire blankets.
All right. So yeah, you guys gain the benefits of a long rest, and we've got some downtime now.
Guys, I had the worst nightmare. We were gonna be on a.
Too late. We are
Oh
on
dear
one.
I
God!
have to break it to you. That was not a nightmare.
Yeah.
No!
Just look at the window. It's probably also gonna help.
I faint again.
Would you like to hold a small dog?
I'm already passed out.
Ramona's gonna spend all these months in a coma.
She wakes up and is like,
poor
I
child.
had the most terrible nightmare. Look at the window. Oh,
It's like 50 First Dates, but
Oh no!
unfortunate.
Yikes!
Yep.
All right. So, what do people want to do with their downtime? Because, oh boy, do you got it. It's been a bit since you've had downtime. Since before you were arrested.
We had the 2
Yeah, we
weeks
were-
when we were arrested. Technically.
And we were different people.
Yes, a
before that.
very profitable downtime that was.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't say that was very comfortable downtime, however.
Hmm.
All right. If anybody's curious about the downtime activities, I will pull out the banana SARS.
I mean, I've got it right here.
The what?
The banana SARS.
Yeah. Not every thing is going to be available on this ship.
What? You mean I
Yeah.
can't send resources to build a keep?
No.
Damn it! That's what I was gonna do
Um,
with my non-existent gold.
Yeah.
If
Well,
you need gold, let me know.
some things that you can do during downtime, you can work if you wanted to pitch in around the ship. You could train, see if there's anything that you would want to learn how to do, and you can start working towards training how to do that. Um, a magic person can scribe a scroll if they have the materials for it. You can research. You can go to religious service.
Believe me, there's plenty. There's a big enough chapel for it.
Yeah. Also at the chapel, pit fighting.
Yeah, keep fighting. It'll be fun.
You could just relax. That is an option.
Yeah.
It doesn't really give you any benefits mechanically because nobody is currently under the effect of any diseases or poisons, but you can relax. And then there is gambling, in case you want to gamble with some crew.
Probably join a campaign.
Yeah, if you have a tool that you want to use to craft something, you could craft something. You can do some carousing with the crew, uh,
Or with each other?
Yeah. Yeah.
or with each other.
What?
Uh,
That would be interesting.
or if you want to be a difficult person, you can commit a crime because that is an option.
Let's do crime.
Just know I'm going to be very annoyed with you if you do crime.
Shulk just starts stealing everybody's left sock.
Oh, Choke is not a thief. He is a hardworking family man with a dreadful past, present, and probably future.
I mean, if he hangs out with this group, definitely future.
I mean, I've seen the future turns out pretty alright. If Monday is to be considered, actually, never mind. Monday is actually pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
So
mind.
did any of those jump out at anybody?
I mean, if Shulk's interested, Batham can teach him the ways of weightlifting and strength training and general athletic things.
Yes.
Okay. Well, jumping on over to training. Shilk, what is your intelligence? 14. Okay.
Show him how I quote unquote sculpt the muscles.
Well, usually training is used to gain a language or tool proficiency, but I would allow skills and like weapon proficiencies on top of that. It would just take twice as long.
Mhm.
So, uh, let's see here. So over the first week of travel, Vatham and Shilk, you start doing some weight training. And Shilk, it is really tiring.
I forgot you have to keep up with the guy with 20 strength. Never mind. Good luck with that, Shulk.
Well, I just have to. I mean, lifting my own, but I have to. Endurance is constitution.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good actually. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of it is just like figuring out the technique and like doing good technique.
Yeah, it's mostly just form.
Like you'll still never be on like the same like level as someone with 20 strength, but like
Yeah.
you could at least be good at it. And after the first week though, you all of your muscles just feel raw and uh you get the sense that this is going to take a while. Possibly longer than you have downtime.
Just be like, okay, that was a good introduction. If you want to continue, let me know at a later date.
No, I hate it.
Yeah. To put this in perspective, mechanically wise, because it athletics is a skill and not a tool or language. The normal 10 weeks it would take is doubled to 20 weeks, but then reduced by Shilk's intelligence modifier. So it would take you 18 weeks to gain athletics proficiency. That is
Which
18
is-
weeks of just straight training.
Which is hilarious because I have athletics expertise.
Oh, well, there you go. Then
So,
over the first week, you realize this is stuff you already know.
Okay.
If anything, you're better at it than he is. He's still stronger than you are, but
yeah.
you've been doing like stuff like this for a while. It's more
It's more
stuff.
just like, it's like comparing notes.
It's more stuff that had to do with like living in your village and like doing like chores around the village for various people. Where this is just a more bare bones way of doing it, as if like some entitled person who didn't have a village to grow up in.
Yeah. Well, in that case, everybody else can decide what they want to do in their downtime while I also decide what else I would like to do in my downtime.
Yeah, that's 1 week down.
Yeah. Vanya, Ramona.
Want to cover up the window. So
Okay.
we can't see out of it.
Just gonna like,
And maybe
push
we'll
that there.
forget that we're deeply underwater.
I say, I want to find the spot on the ship.
I
that if
will
we were
say
to-
it is
I would be the safest.
it is very difficult to forget you're underwater because every once in a while the ship does creak a little bit.
I cry every time.
It's not like horribly loud or like often, but it's like always when like you're just forgetting, like starting to forget that, oh, that's right, I'm in a tube of metal under the ocean. Suddenly there's just like a creak of metal that just brings you right back to reality.
Under the sea.
Great.
This is awful. Just let me die. I'm going outside.
No.
Outside in the water.
Yes. Just let me die.
No. No more dying.
Hey, you should be happy it's like this. In the last campaign, the ship filled
That's-
with water.
True.
Yeah,
This is an
and
upgrade.
it was an actual ship.
At least this time it's vacuum sealed.
I turned my familiar into a fish.
Cute.
Oh yeah, and then we went into the Underdark.
Yeah, that was fun.
We did a lot of shit.
I would. Are there any instruments on said underwater ship that I could learn? That's
Yeah.
what I'd want to do.
Yeah, there's some crew members that they kind of have like a casual band that they do, and you can like see if you can like learn how to play one of the instruments. What are you looking to learn how to play?
Currently, I only know how to play the lute, but that doesn't help because I don't have a lute.
Well, one of the sailors does have a lute.
Yeah, but I already know how to play that
I
one.
know. I mean, like, in case you want to like rock out with them or anything.
Yes, that. But I also would like to learn one. I need to find a list of instruments because I'm smart and have.
Well,
Some.
in the 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 ship band, I guess you can call them. There's the guy with the lute. There's a woman that plays a flute. Uh, a woman on the drums, and a man who plays an instrument that you've never seen before. It makes a very strange sound as he kind of like expands it and contracts it, and he calls it a squeeze box.
Please,
It's an
please tell me,
accordion.
please tell me one of them invented the hurdy-gurdy.
No, there is not a hurdy-gurdy.
Damn it.
That's super tempting. But no.
The guy playing the squeeze box is a gnome. I will say that.
Okay. I'll learn the flute
All right.
because they sound.
If you want, you can borrow my pan flute.
All right. So let's see here.
I forgot I was carrying a pan flute.
Way to go. It's not the same thing.
And I would like to learn sea shanties.
They can help you with that. All right. So the woman it's a this woman it's interesting. She actually for a second you think she's an elf, but then as you like talk to her for a while, you actually recognize that she's actually a half elf. And she introduces herself to you as Adri. And yeah, she will start to teach you how to play the flute. It's a little different from the lute in a lot of ways. Um, as one requires blowing across like the I don't even know what to call it. I'm not a musical person. The little like hole that you breathe across. I know that much. You don't blow into it. You blow across the hole. Um,
It's an
and it.
embouchure.
Thank you, thank you, music person.
Thank you.
I played the flute for like a decade.
There you go. But yeah, it is very different because it is air based instead of string based. So just getting the hang of how to actually make sound probably takes the first week. Uh and by that point is that's when you would actually start like learning how to do different notes, which you would like recognize the pitch of from playing the lutes, but it is very different as that takes up your first week, and it would take another 8 weeks to learn how to play the flute.
Hooray.
Hooray.
I still cry every time I remember we're underwater, though.
I like to think that happens too while you're playing,
Yeah.
and just like you're like trying, and then like just as you're about to like get the pitch just right, just suddenly there's a groan behind you, and you almost drop the flute because you're just so terrified.
Accurate.
Yeah. All right, Vanya, what are you doing for your first week?
I feel like at one point I was learning from Rowan how to weave.
Oh, you could probably take up knitting.
Like you guys were all like you were already learning how to do that from her.
I think we had just like mentioned it in
Okay.
passing.
Yeah.
But actually the first I mean, she'd do that like off and on with like maybe trying to figure out if anybody here knows anything more about Asher and what the hell is going on in the world.
Okay. Yeah. As you kind of like start asking around about Asher, you actually do find a couple people who know a lot about Asher. There are some people on the ship who uh, introduce themselves as being part of a group called the Water Ashari, which you're able to uh, recognize the name because you guys met the Air Ashari. And they explained that they're descended from the first half elves who Asher liberated from the elven people. And now that I think of it, that probably strikes a little bit of a chord with you because you are a half elf.
Yeah.
So there you go.
She might just hang out with them for a while if they're chill with it.
Yeah, they're nice people.
I can't think of anything like actually useful to do with my downtime. Except for maybe contemplate what the hell we're going to do when we get to this giant storm that's supposedly impassable.
Sure.
Oh god, we're sailing into a storm that's impassable.
Going towards the
I'm
maelstrom.
sorry, I thought I included that in the recap.
No, you did. It just didn't click.
And now they're
It's there.
clicking. It's now clicking for remote at the end of the first week of oh god.
We're doing what?
Where's the nearest window? I'm going outside.
No!
You assume the window's open. Why would they
Magic.
open?
I will try and make one open.
I'm actually curious. Are there alchemist supplies on board this ship?
Yeah, actually, if you ask around if there are any alchemist supplies, then they like anyone that you ask would point you towards the healing ward, because yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
used to make potions. So yeah, and
Yeah.
so they say if you're looking for somewhere to use alchemist supplies, then Alanis would have them.
Yeah. Sort of ask Alliance if it's alright to use her supplies while I'm aboard to batch out some healing potions.
Well, healing potions would require a herbalism kit. Alchemist supplies is more for other types of potions, like potions of fire breath or potions of growth, that kind of thing. Anything that has to do with like healing or antitoxin, that would require an herbalism.
Alright. That gives me a couple ideas.
I also want to work with Watcher and like figure out like I guess like train him.
Oh, I will say your new half elf friends absolutely love Watcher.
I bet.
I mean, who doesn't love Watcher?
He's
Half
great.
of them already loves Watcher.
But I want to try and like train him so that he can like do some of the same scouting stuff that Thorn used to do, and I cry about that in a corner every so often. But I also want to like help train Watcher so that maybe he won't go rolling trash next time.
Sure. It actually doesn't take you long as you know what, make a either an insight or animal handling check, whichever one you
It's gonna be insight.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah. Watcher picks up what you're teaching him fairly easily. And you kind of get the sense that he might already know how to do that stuff. and it's more just like a difference in personality than not knowing how to do the stuff that Thorn knew how to do. Yeah. Yeah.
Chilk is also gonna, after deciding that the weight training was good, um,
Honestly,
he would
just
like to
fucking
try to learn their language.
Oh, the language that the people were speaking?
Yep.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, they'll explain to you that the language is primordial. And you find it's not hard to find a teacher. Pretty much like everybody just kind of like throws like words at you to help like you like figure out how to speak the language. Um but before you really get going on learning how to speak the language, you're all kind of like doing your different downtime activities when you there's like a loud clang that just seems to like echo through the entire ship.
We're gonna die.
And some of the like the lantern lights in the ship just kind of flicker a little bit. And as you kind of like watch the lights flicker, it's for the first time you actually notice that they're not flames in the lanterns. It's just like normal. It almost looks like magical light, but your attention is pulled away from that as you notice the uh you kind of got used to this kind of like feeling of getting like pulled with the movement of the ship, and all at once that feeling of getting pulled just dissipates, and you get the sense that the ship is dead in the water.
Start making my way up to the CIC.
Mm-hmm.
I find a corner.
Nope, I drag Ramona with me.
I'll be behind Vanya so Ramona can't escape.
I stick Watcher in her arms, tell her to pet the dog, and drag her with me.
Don't worry, Ramona. Everything will be fine.
You can talk.
I think you might have missed that last week. Yeah, he talks.
Oh man. Oh, that's great. All right. One by one, you all make your way to the CIC, and you can see that Keros is barking orders at the different people, all trying to figure out what's happening. And he sees you all come in, and he says, "My friends, it seems we are in a little bit of a sticky situation. Um,
Figuratively
we
or literally?
well, I'm not entirely sure yet. We got a proximity warning right before that loud clang. I'm sure everybody heard it. Um, and now we are no longer moving. The jet stream it is working. However, it seems to be clogged by something. Uh, I was
The,
just about to have some people go out to check.
the jet stream is clogged?
Yes, it's basically the system that helps the ship move. Um, how it works is
You
a
don't have to dumb it down for it. Just give it to me.
okay. So the water is pulled through the ship, and using the friction of the water is expelled outside, and that basically jettons us forward, making us move forward.
Okay.
If that sounded dumbed down, it's because that's how I am.
Oh, that's how you figured it out. Okay.
Yes. But yes, at the moment, Mr. Spark is sending a couple of our people to check what is going on outside?
Well, if you need someone big to smack a thing, if it turns out to be something very bad, no.
Really? Uh, how good of a swimmer are you?
I have a ring of swimming.
Oh, so good then. Well, if you would like to start making your way down to the gun deck, then you can possibly help those with what's going on outside.
Do I have to worry about breathing?
Oh, that is a problem. Hmm. I don't know if Spark prepared that capability, as most of us already are able to do that.
I
We're
figured.
gonna drown.
He would
We're
have
not-
it prepared because he doesn't know how to breathe underwater.
Then how is Spark getting out there?
Well, Spark, well, you don't know this, but Spark isn't actually going out. He's just sending some people out to go.
He's supervising.
Yeah, exactly. Um. Well, yes. Perhaps you can speak with Spark about that then. And he will be waiting at the gun deck. It is the third from the last deck.
Was that the door I could have gone through but didn't?
Are you asking him or are you asking me?
I'm asking the DM.
Then you don't know.
Just be like, okay, how do I know if I've gone too far?
Well, it's the third from the last, so if you get to the end of the ship, then you've gone too far. But it shouldn't be that hard because you'll probably run into Spark before you do that.
Okay. Considering he has a cat clad in metal armor, I'm pretty sure I won't miss him.
He does stand out quite a bit.
Alright.
All right.
I'll
Is anybody going with Vatham or is it just him?
Shook's gonna go with.
All right. Shield goes with. All right.
I'm trying to find the lifeboats.
You're trying to find the escape pod just in case.
I'm keeping an eye on Ramona.
She's got water madness.
Yes.
Cabin fever.
No. I
No,
like
it's just-
Kevin. I'm afraid of drowning again. It's
The She has a crippling fear of drowning.
It's fine.
All right. So, Vatham and Shilk, the two of you go walking through the ship. As you're passing through all the other decks, you notice just like crew members just trying to like clean up what happened when the clang thing kind of like sent everything shaking. People trying to like batten down everything so like it doesn't get moved around again if another clang happens, or when the ship's if the ship suddenly gets going again. And you eventually get to the deck that I described to you, Vatham, as having like all these like weird like metal looking like sarcophagi on either side. And you can see that Spark is currently standing there, kind of looking out a window, one of the portholes, as well as there's a couple other people, more of these blue skinned folk, standing there with him. And he sees you come in. And Spark, you would know that you just sent out a small group of the Triton sailors to basically just inspect the jet to see what could have caused the damage, and see if it will be easily salvageable, or really just what is going on.
Welcome. Are you lost?
No. Keros actually said if you needed help to speak with you, or to see if there's anything we could do to aid you in the process.
If you would wish, you can certainly go out to join the group that I have recently dispatched.
If
Although I
that is-
don't know how will you fare in water.
that is also something I was going to look into. I swim rather well, not so sure about the breathing part.
Yeah. Spark, you had also looking at Vatham. You're unsure if you would even fit into one of the tubes.
Oh, God, that's how you do that thing?
You might also be a little big.
What do you mean?
You are a giant man.
I'm aware of that. I'm just wondering what in relation you're talking about in terms of being big for.
Too.
Okay.
Might not fit through.
Shulk, what about you?
She'll could,
I-
could probably fit.
I came here to watch you do this. I cannot swim very well.
You are not good at the swimming thing.
Not very well, no.
Well, this is awkward.
I do not have a magic ring to aid me like you.
True. That is very true.
Nor can I breathe the water.
If I remember correctly, breathing underwater is minutes equal to con mod.
It's minutes equal to con mod plus 1. And then when that runs out, you can survive for a number of rounds equal to your con mod before you go unconscious.
So that would only be 3 minutes for me.
I do have a spell prepared if you wish to take advantage of it,
What do you mean?
seeing as I do not breathe the underwater like the rest of my crew. I always keep a spell on hand for it.
It's worth a shot.
It is better than drowning.
I figured having somebody large and meaty could help you. In case it happens to be bad.
It is fine though, because I can cast it on all of us.
Alright.
You will do so. Now, all 3 of the people in the room that can't breathe underwater can now breathe underwater.
Hooray! Now there's just the quandary of getting Vatham out there. As you guys are having this conversation, you do notice some movement at the porthole that Spark was looking out. And you can see one of the Triton sailors looking out into looking into the ship through the porthole, and he seems to be trying to like shout something and like he's banging on the outside, and then you see another Triton come up behind him and slit his throat.
Oh, good
I-
lord.
I think they need help.
Okay. Well, I still think you may be just a tad bit too big. Wow, what the fuck was that voice?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking, Joe. That's kind of what I was thinking, Joe.
That's a great gift.
We can always try.
Pushing him down.
Unless you have
Oh
like an
wait!
airlock
Oh,
or
I'm not
something.
there.
Nope. We
So
stayed
if only-
behind.
Yeah, I know. So I was like, oh wait. Oh shoot. Oh well.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing, but you're not there.
If only someone had
Too bad
enlarged
you
your
cannot make ourselves smaller, Batham.
No. When I transform, I go in the opposite direction and get bigger.
That is the exact opposite of what we want.
Yeah. Unless you want Bear Man.
Uh,
Do not think that would be wise.
I mean, we have other casters here.
They are probably 10 minutes that way. That's pointing behind you guys.
Spark, you would know there is a means of communication to getting a hold of the CIC from everywhere on the ship.
It is fine. I will talk to them.
Alright. If not, I can just squeeze myself out.
All right. Spark, you walk over to a series of pneumatic pipes, and open up one of
ring, ring,
What-
banana phone.
you open
You're
up
underwater, it's a coconut phone.
a cover on one of the pipes and just like yell into it.
Hello? It's me.
What's that?
You hear the a voice from that you recognize as one of the Tritons that works on the CIC, and he says, "Yes, Mr. Spark, what is it?"
It seems we are in need of a Ramona?
Why?
One moment. Back at the CIC,
Right.
Captain, it seems they are in need of someone named Ramona in
start
the
to
gunner deck.
Just send all of them.
he says just to send all of them. And Keros it's like, okay. It looks over at Vanya and Ramona and
I do expect them to
Rowan and
faster than I can
Amity
move.
and well, it seems they need you down there. So
Given Spark, that's quite fucking fast.
Yeah.
right, but Spark has to stop to open a door every time.
It's like through a room, stop, open, through the roof, stop.
Nyum, 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 nyum.
Yeah. So
I guess
Do-
we go.
the ladies make their way back.
I suppose we do.
All right.
Really quickly, before Triton continue to die.
Yep.
The other two Triton that are with you, Spark, says, "Sure, so should we go out there to see what's going on?" What was that?
You probably, yes, that would be good.
Okay. We will go out, and you see each of them step into one of these metal sarcophagi, and it closes over them. And Spark, you walk over to the sarcophagi, and you press a button on each one, and you hear the whooshing sound as they are ejected from the ship.
Oh my god.
That is why you won't fit.
The worst.
Yeah. Yeah. If I were just like a couple inches thinner, maybe.
Shorter, actually.
Are you sure
Maybe,
height
maybe thinner too.
All right. So you're kind of like straining to look out the window to see what's going on with the other Tritons, and while you're waiting for the ladies to make their way to the gunner deck, and when while you're waiting, you see one of the Tritons that you just sent out there pop up. He's got like this weird look on his face. And then you realize the reason he's got a weird look on his face is because he's dead. As the severed head moves out of the way, and you see the crazed Triton that slit the other one's throat, and then he just like starts licking the bottom of the head stump.
Oh, oh god.
Gross.
Yeah.
This is
I
much
know-
worse than I feared.
I know I use blood for shit, but not that. Jesus.
Why do you shit blood?
No, not literally. I mean, it's a source of my abilities in that I can draw blood and turn my weapons into fire covered, ice covered, lightning covered.
I do not understand your custom. You are strange.
To be fair, I can also turn into a bear, so there's that.
But we have discussed druids can do the same thing.
It is what some of you would call lycanthropy.
I do not know that.
Have you heard of werewolves?
No.
Never
I
mind.
feel like Spark has probably heard of werewolves.
Oh, this is Shilk.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't really paying attention.
The voices are very close. I should differentiate.
Yeah.
They are very similar.
Mark knows big words though.
Yeah, I like how Josh has like two voices: normal Josh and broken English Josh.
Yes. Oh, Goblin Josh.
Goblin Josh is broken English Josh.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, in the time it would take them, I will then explain to Shield what blood hunters are capable of and how we do our things.
Well, people are outside dying.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless Shield wants to go out there.
Eventually the ladies show up. you come into the room as Vatham is giving Shilk a complex complex lesson on lycanthropy and how he uses it to fight good.
Shilk looks very interested just because the idea of transforming.
The idea of becoming something furry.
Become another poison. Become another. Wait.
How does Spark feel about this while all of his men are outside dying?
He's like trying to interrupt, but she's like, "Hey, can we?" It's just. He's getting mad.
I don't think I've ever seen Spark mad.
I know.
Alright.
Oh.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Okay, I'm gonna be
we
honest,
were
Roberto,
called
we just need
for-
you to turn me into something smaller.
Oh, I can't
Also,
turn you into something smaller. I can just make you smaller.
There are people dying outside. Maybe
Yeah,
we should help them.
We've got crew dying. Let's get them.
Sparks.
Of course they're
Thank
dying.
you.
They're outside.
Well, I can already tell you this one won't go outside.
Yeah, she has a crippling fear of water.
How would you know that?
I have seen her
because I
fade
cry
twice.
every time.
That's
Because that's
True.
all she's been talking about for the last week.
At this point,
Yeah.
the entire ship knows she has a crippling fear of water.
Exactly. Lucky you got me this close to it.
True.
To be fair, you weren't willing.
No, I
automatic-
wasn't. I wanted to drown instead,
Oh my.
which is exactly what I'm trying to avoid. It's fine. I will cast reduce on
Alright.
this guy.
All right, and Vatham shrinks down into actually like pretty close to like what like the height of the Tritons, except maybe like a little bit like skinnier.
I go from 7 foot to like 4 foot.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah. As he
so
goes
this
to
is the
speak,
look
his voice is a little higher now.
Oh,
Go quick, it doesn't last long.
yeah, okay, going.
All right, you jump into the tube, and Spark hits the button, and you feel yourself get jettisoned shortly after the tube fills with water, and you go shooting out into the darkness, and then you remember that you can't see in the dark.
Right.
Oh my god.
But I
We're
do get that bonus
heroes.
for being a bear.
What's that? Oh wait, that's right.
It-
You have like 30 feet because you got to that level. Never mind. Okay,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
can
I'm
see
good.
a little bit.
Yeah. I got 30 feet of dark vision.
That's right. I forgot about that. All right. You look around. Uh, you see something drifting in the water just on the edge of your dark vision. On near the top of the ship.
Mm-hmm. Alright. I'll take a look, trying to remain within Spark's sight lines.
All right. You. Well, in order to get there, you're going to have to get closer, like up, which will take you out of the view of the porthole.
Alright, I'll go up a little bit,
All right.
taking myself out of view.
So you start swimming towards this thing floating in the water, and then you realize that it is uh,
The head.
no, it's the rest of the body. As there
Oh,
was, yeah, it's a decapitated body of one of the sailors.
it's like, yeah. There are worse ways he could have gone.
Yeah, you can see that it looks like it was stabbed several times in the gut
And then decapitated?
and then decapitated.
What's next? He was stabbed several more times? In the back?
No, just in the gut.
Alright. It's like, okay. Just sort of gonna like take a view, sort of like go back down towards the porthole and sort of cover the area that he can't see.
All right.
Like scout that area.
Yeah, you kind of like drift down a little bit, and you see the jet stream that Keros was talking about on the bottom of the ship. Um, this area of the jet stream looks fine. You don't see anything clogging it or anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll
Yeah.
further inspect this thing.
All right. Make a like what are you inspecting it for?
Sort of just see tempering. Any signs that it could have just been like maybe somebody tried to, you know, stop this thing from moving any further, given that we have a crazed Triton on the outside killing people.
All right. Make an investigation check.
Yeah, signs of sabotage. Thank you, Joe.
All right. Checking the jet stream underneath this deck. It looks perfectly fine. There's nothing clogging it. You don't see any marks that look like any of the machinery have been broken. Looks like this part of the jet stream is fine. You would probably have to
Mhm.
check elsewhere.
All right. I'll I'll keep looking.
All right. Which way are you headed? To the front of the ship or to the back of the ship?
Keros said that in order for it to move, water has to go through it from the front, right?
Yep.
So I'll have to go further up the ship.
Okay.
I'll sort of make my way back up a little bit, tap on the glass, sort of motion that I'm heading further up, like toward the front of the ship.
Sure. All
Sort
right.
of make my way sort of further the ship to investigate the jet stream.
Yeah. Sure. Um. You start making your way. While you're making your way, go ahead and make me a perception check at disadvantage.
Okay, yeah, because of the sight. 18.
All right.
At least we have the sack of hit points doing the investigating.
So as you're making your way, you kind of like hear something like behind you, and as you turn, there's nothing there. And then like you hear something back the way you were originally facing, and you turn, and there's nothing there. Kind of like in like movies when like we're following the guy, and then it's just like a shark like passes over the camera behind him,
Mm-hmm.
but when he turns, there's nothing there. So
Mm-hmm.
you definitely heard movement, but you don't know where, like what made the movement.
Alright. So just sort of keep an eye out. Knowing that it's probably gonna get dicey, he might pop the transformation to give himself a little bit of added bonuses.
All right. Uh, in case you weren't aware by this point the reduce would have worn off, so you are back to your normal big self.
I figured.
Yeah, and you go into bear form, and and even though it doesn't like change your stats at all, like for like perception, your senses are like noticeably dulled by the water.
Yeah. I figured either way. That'll last for 30 minutes.
All right, as you continue moving forward, you see something else drifting through the water ahead of you.
Alright. I'll go ahead and investigate it.
All right, looks to be a severed arm cut off at the elbow.
God damn. Alright. Feel like, okay, whatever this thing is more brutal than me. And keep moving. Keeping an eye as to see if the jet stream's been noticeably damaged or anything further up.
Sure.
Are we within message range? I'll try to cast a message.
I mean, our Vex is set.
At this point, your message, you're trying to message Vatham, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. At this point, you would not get anything back
Okay.
as you go to send your message, and you can tell it does not reach its target. So he's gone off
Or he's dead.
farther, or he's dead. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, he's dead.
Yeah, definitely dead. That's it, you guys. You found out. All right. After a bit, Fathom, you eventually get to the front of the ship. And you can see uh that there is something clogging the jet stream right at the front of the ship.
Okay. Can I tell what it is?
You get closer, and it looks to be mangled corpse pieces.
It's it's these pieces of a corpse.
As you looking, it looks to be pieces of a couple corpses, as there are definitely more than one torsos in that mix.
That that's not boding well. Not gonna lie. All right. All right. I will try to clear the clock. And
All right. Make a strength check for me. Just strength.
Straight strength.
Just straight strength. Yep.
Okay.
You do get your bonus because you're in wolf. Probably not wolf form. Bear form.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah. With that, you start pulling on the corpse pieces, and after a minute or two of clearing the way, you clear all the corpse bits off of the vent, and it looks a little bloody, but from what you can tell, you think you got most of it.
All right. Sort of like look further in, make sure nothing like made its way into it.
Make a perception check at disadvantage.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, 8. Not gonna see much of anything.
Yeah, you're fairly certain you got all of it.
All right. Gonna head. I'm sort of just like gonna find the porthole where the party members are, and sort of just like tap on the glass to see like, can I get back in, sort of thing. Like, if there's somebody who can help me out here.
A cast message. What's up?
Well, before that
Oh.
happened, as you're making your way back to the tail end of the ship where the porthole was that your party members are by, you see a figure on the edge of your dark vision, just kind of floating there in the water.
Mm-hmm.
You know they're alive because they're kind of like lightly kicking their feet, and they're just sitting there looking at you.
He just sort of like sits still, turns his eyes, his bare face, and just sort of like gives them a look of like trying to assess intent. Basically, do they seem like the crazed Triton that slit the throat of one of the crew?
It's kind of hard to tell at this range. You would have to get closer.
I'll get a little closer, be on my guard.
As you get closer and can start to make details, you notice something is sticking out of its mouth. Looks to be a webbed foot that is currently gnawing on. And you can see that there's something on his head. Kind of looks like a crown, and they look to be severed blue fingers that are just like tied to his head. And he spits out the foot and looks at you with a wide, grinning smile. And then he starts swimming directly towards you with his daggers out.
Okay.
Roll initiative.
All right.
Or roll a dex check. I don't really feel like doing the turn order. It's just the two of you.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I don't really have a map for outside of the ship. So.
Yeah. Not good.
Oh, it shouldn't be a disadvantage.
Yeah, you shouldn't
Well,
be. So you got
Yeah,
12?
12.
All right.
Yeah, that would be
Cool.
a 12.
The sailor rolled a 17, so he'll go first.
Figured.
So he comes swimming right up to your face, and he is going to stab at you 3 times with his daggers.
All right. Armor class 19, by the way.
All right. 2 of those are going to hit for 13, reduce the 7 damage.
Reduces 7.
Well, don't you have resistance in bear form?
Right.
Yep.
Resistance to bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, combat.
Yep. Daggers are piercing.
So 13 reduced to 7.
Yep.
If I can math, that should put me at 103.
It's your turn.
Okay. Just gonna do my usual slash.
Yeah.
Not doing cold damage.
That will definitely hit for 13 plus 22. Ouch.
Alright. Let me check something real quick. Advanced
Yeah.
information.
You slash across this guy twice with your claws, and it is. Oh, you say you're not doing the cold damage?
I am not doing cold damage. I guess.
Okay. Swapping it out for what?
Lightning. 'Cause
Lightning. Okay.
Because that sounds like
Yeah.
a good idea.
Okay, then yeah, if you're doing lightning, then it is those numbers. All right, cool. So yeah, even with your as you slash across its chest twice with your claws, it's already looking bloody,
Mm-hmm.
and it will attempt to stab you some more. Oops. All right. I said armor class is what?
19.
19 in bear form. All right. Then only one of those will hit for 8 reduced to 4.
Alright. Not bad.
Your turn.
Gotta do some math. Yeah. Okay. Slash.
Yeah, both of those will hit for another 22 plus 19, 31.
41.
You said.
Oh, sorry, 41. My bad. Yeah.
Mhm.
Then with that, as you slash him twice more with your claws, he like a bit of like air just comes bubbling out as he dies right there in your arms,
Mhm.
drifting through the water.
Alright. Also, side note, I also remember improved predatory strikes. They are considered magical creatures and overcoming
Yeah.
resistances. Yeah.
Didn't apply here, but yeah.
Alright. Just in case. Alright. You're gonna check around, make sure that nothing else is gonna try and kill him.
Make a perception check at disadvantage.
Okay. God. Perception.
What?
The
Oh my
fuck? Double
god.
20?
Wow. 2 natural 20s. That's amazing.
Nice.
At disadvantage, no less.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You look around and I feel bad because you rolled 2 natural 20s, but you don't see anything else that poses a danger.
Alright. Just look around. Back to the back of the ship of party members.
All right. You guys watch as the face of a bear appears in the porthole.
I scream. Ah!
Mm.
Sea bear.
Oh, yeah.
Sea bears.
I've seen
Draw
that
a circle.
episode of SpongeBob.
I was thinking the
Shock circle.
Uh,
That's not a circle. That's an oval.
Oh no!
Oh,
oof.
oh man.
Oh man.
Good thing it's not a sea rhinoceros.
Can I now just prematurely recommend the episode title be Sea Bear Battle? Alright. Just sort of ask
Or
them,
just sea bear with exclamation point.
yeah. Okay. They just be like, hey, can one of you let me in?
Yeah,
on glass.
he's tapping on the glass. His bare face is moving like it's talking, but you can't hear anything.
It's alright because I actually can't speak.
Well, they're inside of a sealed like vessel.
Thing.
They can't hear you.
Like shrug a couple times. Like, come on.
Do you
It'll
think he wants
take a
back in?
second, but then I'll remember that it's him. And I'll cast message. Oh, I forgot it was you. I guess you want to be let in.
Yeah, that'd be ideal.
Mark says, it is definitely too big for that.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to cast another spell.
The question is,
Hello? I apologize. I seem to have lost internet. Give me a moment. Yes, my internet has definitely died. Please bear with me. I will send the stream to a small pause and we'll be back when I come back.
me know when it's up.
Okay, it should be back working now.
Okay, so basically what we missed from the technical difficulties was they were trying to decide if they could get Vatham back into the ship. Unsure of whether Ramona needed to go out into the water, but she was able to cast her spell through the window, so it was fine. After several bear puns later,
All
the
those were missed.
yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
all of them targeted at a 4-foot bear.
they were able to deduce that the crazed Triton that was out in the water was actually one of the initial crew members that was sent out to see what the problem was. So Spark doesn't think he was the source of the problem, just a continuation of it as he was stuffing his fellow crew members' bodies into into the intake vents. Spark went to go ask Keros if there was any other problems. Keros said there's now a problem with the actual engine itself, to which he was sending some of the gnome engineers to go and get their tools from the cargo hold. But the rest of the party can come back up to the CIC where they eventually made their way to the very front of the ship to see the big engine um, that looks like a big metal ball sitting on a metal table between two arc pylons. Looks like it's probably supposed to be doing something, but right now it's not. Um, and after speaking with some gnomes, the gnomes start heading towards the back of the ship, and Keros comes over to the rest of you, and he says, "So what was going on? Why did we have problems with the intake valves?"
Uh,
Vents.
apparently, one of your uh, several corpses were stuffed into the intake.
Corpses.
Yeah, there were corpses. I don't know if there's anything else further in. From what I could clear, seemed to be a lot of corpses.
That sounds god awful. Why are there corpses in these tunnels? That makes no
Hmm.
sense.
There was also the uh, one of the Triton decided to uh, start being a little cannibalistic,
What?
and yeah, the crew that got sent out, one of them decided to start killing the crew members. He's dead now. He will no longer be a problem.
What is happening? Well, I thank you for dealing with this matter. That sounds crazy that one of my crew just started eating his own kind. I've known many of these people since we were all young. They're from my home village. This is strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was wearing a crown of fingers.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
I think I'm going to be sick.
yeah. It was unbearable.
Womp womp.
Okay, getting to the matter at hand. It's a gnome.
Well, then the gnomes are going to the cargo hold to get the tools they need to take apart the engine. It's not something that they do very often, hence why it the tools are left in the cargo hold.
Mhm.
Um, but we'll just have to sit here and wait.
Should we also be worried about the blood in the water now, or not?
Hmm,
No.
that shouldn't be a problem. Blood, it may seem to hang in the water when it is first introduced, but it doesn't take long before it is cleared out by the salt water. It shouldn't be a problem with the intake fence anymore.
How far?
I meant the creatures that are attracted to the blood.
Oh, like sharks and Sohagan?
Yeah.
Oh, they don't come down here.
Okay, we should be good.
These tunnels are until recently were owned by a very sinister force, but now they are unoccupied. Hence us able to travel freely through them.
How far from the surface are we in case we start drowning?
Well, that is a great question. Um,
What used to be here before?
oh, some being that I don't remember what it was called. It liked to move around underground. Uh, I think it was like some kind of like king or something. They called these tunnels the King's Highway. So I think it was called some kind of king. I don't remember.
Does that ring any bells?
Make a religion check.
Make sure I'm not at a disadvantage. 21.
Okay. Um. So Vatham, you would know that because this actually this is kind of like hugging the line of whether or not you should have advantage with this check because it's one of those things. You would remember that the King's Highway is a network of subterranean tunnels used for getting all around the world, basically. Additionally, the subterranean tunnels are supposed to exist on other planes, outer planes, and so it's theorized that because the King's Highway exists on both the material plane and the outer plane, uh, you could travel from plane to plane using the King's Highway. The reason it's called the King's Highway is because it is watched over by the Crawling King, a malicious deity, but a deity nonetheless. And so just the idea that Keros is insinuating that the Crawling King is no longer looking over these tunnels, that just opens up a whole can of worms of consequences of what that could mean if like one of the main ways of getting around the plains is unguarded.
Yeah, if only someone had thought about this consequence.
I don't know what you're talking about. What consequences?
To be fair, also, Mike, I'm being held by a circlet of intelligence.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's that.
Well, yeah, that's why you rolled so well.
Mm-hmm.
You don't get anything you don't get anything extra from that. You're
Yeah,
just
I'm
smarter
just-
because of it.
Yeah, I'm just letting it be known that
Yeah,
some of the territories of knowledge are being held here.
yeah, I know. I'm just letting you know that's what you get with a 21
Mhm.
and not like a 17 or whatever the hell you would have.
Okay, I will relay this information to anyone interested.
Oh, that sounds a lot worse actually.
Yeah, kind of does.
Well, while you guys are having this conversation, Spark, you meet back up with the gnomes as they come into the gunner deck, and you travel with them all the way to the cargo hold, which is at the very rear of the deck. When you get there, you find something very strange. In the cargo deck, about halfway in, you see a stone wall that blocks your travel deeper into the ship. with a pair of big stone doors.
Okay. This is very strange.
One of the gnomes looks at you and is like, "Is there usually a stone wall with doors in this area? We don't usually come back here, but it looks very unusual."
They're not supposed to be, no. It is quite strange. There are doors, though. Maybe we can go through.
Okay, we'll follow your lead.
Well, let me test it first. Stay back for a second. And I will go up and try to open a door.
All right, the doors do swing open fairly easily, and you can see that it leads into a solid stone room with another pair of double doors on the other side of it. There is nothing in the stone room whatsoever.
All right. Parker's gonna investigate real quick.
All right. Are you going in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Enter in and look around.
You go in and you look around, and it just seems to be an empty stone room, and you're very confused as to what its purpose could be here. And with your investigation check, you don't notice until it's too late the doors close behind you and then disappear on the stone wall, and now you're just in a solid stone room with no exits. And that's where we're gonna end tonight.
Already?
Yeah, it's 11:30 Central Time.
Alrighty. And in that case, we will end the stream here. So thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you next week.
Good night.
Right.
No.